Maverick fans, welcome to this week's episode of Chattin Mavericks, the official fan podcast of all things Maverick hockey.
This podcast is brought to you by nobody because Pull Tab Sports doesn't answer their email. If you're interested, reach out because we'd love to have a sponsor. Anyway, what's up, Maverick Nation? Welcome into episode 60 of the Chattin Mavericks podcast. We got a big one here. We're bringing on Coach Strand here in a couple minutes. We're not going to talk too long because obviously you want to hear what Coach Strand has to say, and we just wrapped up a pretty killer interview with him. So before we get into that, though, we got a couple of news items to touch on here. And before we do that, we might as well say hi to the faithful crew. Juts, how are you?
I'm good, guys. I'm the coach of the year. Wrap up our season tomorrow. Right. Really excited to be done.
Coach for what for baseball for
baseball. Yeah,
there you go. Okay, that's baseball.
Varsity,
junior high.
Got it. Gotta start somewhere.
Hey, head coach though.
Oh,
attaboy.
Damn. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
Anything else to report?
10 days left to school, not that I'm counting. And
nice.
Then I get to go live on a lake all summer. So I'm excited.
Tough. Chad, what about you?
Boy, just activities still in full swing. Hockey tournaments, actually competition dance season just ended. So that was big. Riley did very well.
Nice.
Getting surgery. I'm gonna have surgery on my honker.
Oh yeah.
What?
Nose surgery.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He's gonna get a nose job.
I'm getting a nose job, baby.
I think you're beautiful the way you are.
Oh, thanks. The only problem is I can't breathe. I can't sleep. I can't inhale properly. And every time I drink, I'm congested for 2 weeks. So
are you getting your adenoids out then? I
have a deviated septum and nasal polyps.
Okay, so I have
a
deviated septum, and then my adenoids grew back.
Okay,
so I'll be going under the knife in probably winter next year for the same thing.
I'll let you know how it goes. I just had my CT scan this morning for them to map out where they're gonna go and take things out.
Okay.
And then
you're gonna take out are they taking out your tonsils too?
They didn't say anything about it.
Okay.
I'm also not 8.
I got mine when I was 8. I get it. Yeah. But
separate issue, Jets.
I don't know. Sometimes that has to do with that stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
MD jutting on the show here.
ENT jutting.
Dr. Juts.
Got it.
Nerves and throat.
Well, that's exciting, Chad.
What's new
some
with you?
Relief on the. I mean, not a whole lot. Getting into the busy season, being the construction tool that I am. We're getting pretty busy. Got a big job over in Rochester, Minnesota. So been over there quite a bit. But
you got a
what's that?
You got a boat?
Did get a boat? Yes, we got a boat here for coming up for the coming up for the summer. So me and Strand will be racing on Lake Madison and seeing who can get to the landing first.
Madison Lake.
If he's not, no, it's not Madison Lake. Yeah, same thing. Yeah. So no, that's exciting. Very happy about that. Other than that,
in-ground hot tub in your garage.
Yes, in-ground hot tub was a great addition once we got the boat out to the lake. Sitting in Joey's driveway.
We're not supposed to tell people that
they don't know where the city man kid doesn't know where I live. We can we can talk about it all we want.
It's one of the 4 listeners. He's like, this freaking asshole.
For anyone who's confused, you have to check out the Twitter. We had a funny AI moment on Twitter. So but yeah, man, not a whole lot. Just kind of enjoying the nicer weather. We had a dust advisory in Mankato, which is hilarious. Several different accounts. So that was pretty funny. A lot of people probably need nose surgery after breathing in the air yesterday. But yeah, man, just
awful. I came home.
It was nuts. Yeah. No, it was, everything is covered in I don't know if it's dust from the fields or the roads or what, but it was disgusting.
that's
So that was a
nuts.
first. But yeah, man, not a whole lot's new. Just happy to not be moving and changing jobs 6 different times this time of year like I was last year. And yeah, I mean, the Mav Cave is already set up for the summer, which is great. So I don't know about you guys, watching a lot of playoff hockey, Wild play here in about an hour. So hopefully they can
Hey,
pull it
not
off. But
not to be that guy, but I do have a text message the second they beat Dallas that said Avs in 5. So,
oh,
not that
Sweet.
I want it to happen, but I am a prophet.
sounds like you want it to happen. So
Yeah, just like that Bemidji pick you made.
That the Bemidji pick that's not like this could happen. They both could happen.
huh?
Like who knows?
You got
They
a
could
dip?
still.
You got
Who
a
knew
dip.
Northern Michigan
He's a
would be
baseball coach.
Who knew Northern Michigan would be that bad?
All right.
We did.
Wasn't a stretch. Oh, you guys, I think a couple of news items before we get to coach here and get to the part of the show that I'm sure everyone wants to. Almost over an hour sitting down with coach. Can't thank him enough for his time. So he's coming on here just shortly, but I wanted to congratulate, all the graduates. Those are now part of the alumni community of the best university on planet, both the guys on the team and everyone else graduating. Welcome to the alumni Mav fam. Pretty cool to see, the guys posing with pics in front of the fountain in their cap and gowns with both cups there again this year. That's a pretty neat part of being a Maverick. So, some sad news in Mankato. Hooligans Neighborhood Pub is closing.
Yeah.
I thought I'd throw that in there. That's that is
No.
a pretty tragic loss for the Mankato community here. Ryan Carter has been hired as head coach at White Bear Lake. So congratulations to Cards. Not that he needed something else to do, but I guess he was bored. He's coaching high school hockey now. So congrats to Cards for that. I'm sure that'll be an exciting, I'm sure that community is pretty pumped to have him at the helm of their bench there. Juts, some Bemidji news. Bemidji is the first CCHA team selling a sponsorship on their jerseys. As far as I can tell, I haven't seen anyone else come out with asking for sponsors yet. Question for you guys: what would be the first business? All right, I figured. What would be the first or like the top brand or business or whatever to be a sponsor on the Mavericks space?
I think we should have Unreal. Like he graduated from here.
Kind of makes sense.
But if we're talking like local, I'm partial
Chattin
to
Mavericks podcast.
Rounders
are sell a lot of
Mavericks?
sponsorships.
Throw a number at it, Scotty.
My accountant will be waiting.
Big guy could pay for it. We're in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, much like last season, we're not out till we're mathematically out.
Can it just
as we'll get to with Coach here?
Just our AI characters of us three.
That'd be sick.
That would be so funny. So yeah, that was fun. I wanted to shout out Toomey and Michaelis. They are on Team Germany for the World Championship. So those guys are playing once again, representing their country. So congrats to them. And then the big news dropped. We're recording here on Wednesday, the 13th. Big news yesterday as the CCHA schedules came out, so including our non-conference. I'll quick run through it and then I'll throw it over to you guys and we'll throw it over to the coach and not waste too much time here. October 9th and 10th, Wisconsin's coming to town. October 16th and 17th, we're at Merrimack. October 23rd and 24th, we're going to 23rd, we're going to St. Thomas. 24th, St. Thomas is coming here. Lake State's coming to town on October 30th and 31st. November 6th and 7th. Do it, Juts. We're at Northern Michigan. Then we're at Bemidji State that following weekend, November 13th and 14th. Michigan Tech's coming to town on November 20th and 21st. And then the big addition that no one really knew about until yesterday, home and home with Minnesota. We're at Mariucci or 3M at Mariucci or Mariucci at 3M or whatever fucking pronouns are using up there in the big city. We are at that rink on November 27th. Then they're coming down to beautiful Mankato, Minnesota on the 28th. So that's going to be a very exciting series for many reasons, but probably the big one being return of Evan Murr and getting to play him. So Bowling Green's coming to town December 4th and 5th. Lake State, we're at Lake State December 11th and 12th, and that gets us to the break. And then after the break, we're at Ferris State 8th and 9th, January 8th and 9th. Augustana, we're playing them. Augustana's coming here 15th and 16th of January at Bowling Green, January 22nd, 23rd. January 29th, where Bemidji State's coming to town, and the 30th, obviously. And then February 5th, we're at Michigan Tech for that weekend. February 19th and 20th, Northern Michigan comes here, and then we finish off the regular season at Augustana on February 26th and 27th. Chad, I'll throw it right to you. Man, what a schedule. Sick non-conference. I mean, I couldn't be more excited for the next season.
Absolutely. I leapt from my chair at the office the other day when I got the news. Love the non-conference schedule. Don't sleep on Merrimack. People, if you're not paying close attention, Merrimack was in the tournament. Like they're a good team. And then, it's great that St. Thomas immediately wanted to continue playing us. I love that.
How to beat us.
The Gopher series is going to be gigantic. That was absolutely unbelievable. I was hoping when we saw the tweet, I was hoping that the Mavs would jump in there. Luckily we did. Everybody cancel your Thanksgiving plans and go to that game. The one thing I want to point out that maybe some people have noticed, some people haven't, is the Mavs are not going to be at home for over a month between December and January 15th. That is going to be
this one before.
Struggle bus.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with I'm going to have to hang out with my family or something.
I mean, it's not like you come to most home games.
What's that?
We'll be subscribed to Vidco that month.
Home games anyway.
Shut up.
I mean, all right. I went to quite a damn lot.
I'm kidding. Relax.
I'm joking. I've never been to a game at Mariucci, so I'm pumped. I've never seen a college hockey game. Never seen a college hockey game at Mariucci. So
have we talked about this?
I don't know if we've brought that up or before. Maybe off air we've talked about it, but I don't think we've talked about it on the show.
To watch ice.
Yeah, I didn't get the invite to that one. Thanks, Juts.
Yeah, he only had 2 free tickets. My bad.
That's right.
Bring $200 for parking and beers.
Yeah, it's like $18 a beer.
You are a conceal and carry. You might want to bring that.
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
The walk, you want to walk in a good time.
Perfect. I've never been to the Ralph Engelstad Arena either. I need to get up. I really want to. Obviously, once we get North Dakota on the schedule.
Wait, you guys both haven't been there either?
I've never been there.
I have not. I had plans to go.
The only thing
last time the Mavs were up there. Okay, cut that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
It's cast only. What Cam?
No, it's honestly hands down probably the best arena in college hockey because they got nothing else to do.
I haven't heard that before, so it should be exciting to get up there.
They let off fireworks inside. It's blasphemy, pandemonium.
All right.
You heard it first.
Chad, what were you saying there
about
visiting Ralph Engelstad? You were going to, but
I had plans when the Mavs are playing there. I think it was 4 years ago. No, more than that. I don't know. I was going to go up there with a buddy who was like a North Dakota season ticket holder, and plans just kind of eviscerated unexpectedly, and I didn't get to go. And I don't really want to go unless the Mavs are playing there. I don't really need to see that.
I'm not making that
bad.
Yeah, I'm not making that drive unless the Mavs are playing. So yeah,
that's it.
Anything else on any of those other news article points there before we throw it over to Coach?
We do not have any.
Andre Pavel won his well, what are the team? They won their tournament or their championship.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
The
over
Finnish
back
league?
home. Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Was it back in? I thought it was the Finland league he's in.
I guess I just saw his dad posted about it like 10 times today. So
Yeah.
I liked all of his posts. That was
He's a
pretty
hoot.
sweet. He is. I wish I would have met him. He seems like a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so congratulations to Mr. Pavel there on a championship.
So yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, so
All
well, yeah,
right.
we have this one guest this week. Might have heard of him. We can, I don't know, throw it over to Mr. Luke Strand right now. What do you guys say?
let's do it.
Perfect. All right, Maverick fans, moment you've been waiting for. Head coach Luke Strand. All right. Well, Coach, last time we had you on, I think I started by congratulating you as McNaughton Cup, Mason Cup champions, and you personally on being CCHA Coach of the Year and finalist for National Coach of the Year. And I guess we can start there again this year. So congrats on another great year here in Mankato. And I know this year at times we probably weren't sure if that was actually going to be the case, but nonetheless, welcome back to the show, Coach. Thanks for taking the time.
No, thank you guys. Your support is tremendous, and I can't tell you, you guys rock. We really appreciate it. And as far as the accolades, that's our guys, that's our staff, that's the village it takes, and I'm grateful for it. And they work their tail off. It's the fun part.
Absolutely. I mean, we can start with probably the most riveting question that the Mav fan was wondering. You got your pontoon in on Madison yet?
I do. That was an early May project.
Nice. Okay.
I'm a sore loser. So when you get out of one season, I get into another pretty quick. Yeah, so it's in. I had to help the boys had to help me readjust the lift a little bit, but
Nice.
it was a good staff project. Let's put it that way.
There we go. So I guess I'll start here. I mean, the most recent news, obviously yesterday, the schedule release. What went into kind of getting that Gopher series done? I know we saw they kind of put out a memo that they were looking to fill a couple dates a few weeks ago. I mean, how familiar are you with this new coaching staff up there? And then I guess overall thoughts on next year's schedule. Was there any sort of strategy that went into building the calendar for next season?
I was told when I took the job, you want to play the best winnable schedule, which I think is the most impossible ask to do. The MPI definitely has a part of it. There's no question that we were actually going down a road with another school in the Minnesota thing that became available. I thought it would be a great. It's been one of those things we've tried to get it going since I got here. Wasn't able to. Now Lars was kind enough to jump in on this, and I think the home and home side of it will be great for both. Great for hockey in our state, and the timing of it, I would have liked to play earlier, but the dates were the dates, and we'll just keep trucking through the Thanksgiving time.
Absolutely. I know we're pretty pumped on the fan side of things. I think everyone else is too. So, Chad, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, just on the heels of schedule discussion, are there at first glance, I mean, it's the second year in a row. Do you have any intentions of having an exhibition game to start the season, or given the back-to-back 10 weeks straight of hockey, is that maybe not on your radar?
I mean, the gauntlet wasn't supposed to happen again this year. It was supposed to be a break there. I do think we will. It's getting harder. It's getting harder out of. There's some behind the scenes things going. If we can get in our 20 hours a little bit earlier in the year, start our activation of care hours, they're called. Then maybe we don't need the exhibition. But I know we'll do the pond. That's the 3-on-3 event that we do up there. It's extremely healthy for us, even for the goalies. Hey, Cam. Maybe not much for the goalies.
I'll start stretching now.
Yeah, you might pull something. I would like to. It's going to come down to timing, and if it does, I'd really like it to be a situational scrimmage, like play 2 hard ones and then really get into some in-depth specials. You're trying not to put a lot of cost in the exhibition, except for it sets the table. So we got to be pretty wise about what we get done.
Makes
Sure.
sense. Juts, what do you got?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if you hear my dog here. He's patching up a storm. Um, so, Coach, what do you look for in your leaders, both on and off the ice? Like, how do you say, like, this is a guy I want as captain, and so on? Like, what are you looking for?
Well, Jots, that's a great question. I mean, the truth of the character is huge. I think their value. There's always a funny part about a leader for me. The leader that keeps individual value, even though they're representing the team and the program. If you can find a guy that cannot lose their own footing as a player and a person because they're trying to appease the group, you got one. Like, you think of the last few that we've had here, Wheels, very thick backbone. Growler, maybe a little bit stubborn in his way, but he really had a great identification for the player, like for the whole group. He did. And then Morty was a kind of a 5-star because he was an elite player. He had the leadership qualities, and he had been through a lot of experiences. So I think the experiences are going to count. Communicator, and I do think you got to surround that person not only with assistant captains but our leadership group has got a whole has got a big part of it. Definitely count on that, and I definitely count on relationships because we lean into those guys on some pretty hard moments, and get very truthful. And then that part, I think you've got to have that right guy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest recent college hockey stories that come out is this new, 5-year eligibility rule. I think they're calling it like 5-and-5 or whatever. How much discussion was had at the coaches meeting about this? And what's your kind of take on the situation? How's this going to affect your program? And then recently, was maybe that Gross-Klaus decommit kind of a result of this rule change at all, or did that not play a role at all?
I think it does. I would tell you, it was the first topic that I've ever been involved in. And I think my first time down there was 2000 as a coach, that I found the group
Jeez.
unanimously on the same page. It's never, this was the first time unanimously, that
Yeah.
everyone was on the same page. The ruling, there's some language in there we're hoping to curb, as a hockey body. You can see why it's built in there. I think it's built in there for the guys that abused it. The $5.5 million super senior football quarterback.
Yeah.
That's 25, and it's going to make more. So I think that's part is built in. There's a lot of hockey wishes, like it wasn't broke, don't fix it. But I think the
Yeah.
NCAA rightfully doesn't want to carve out things for a lot of people. So if they can keep that in mind, I do think we're going to work hard to put some language in there that it might, I think our average entry age is 20 years old. It's probably going to knock it back a year. It really will. I don't know how many people really use 5 years. So I wouldn't panic if I was a 19-year-old that needs another year. Because really 4 is what you're going to play anyways. No one really wants to play 5 years of college, I don't think. And then the whole side, the other side of that comes down to, you brought up Grouser. Grouser's an easy one for me. Like, we didn't feel like it would have been the right situation to bring him in at this time. Never was. It was always in this plan. Someone north of us might be short a forward or 3 and thought it was the right time. And do I think that 5-and-5 played into it? I'm sure there was some of that. There's some loss. You don't want to lose it. But at the same time, I think it's such a case by case scenario for these young players that you're going to find college hockey a little bit younger, but you're going to still have to find ways to adjust and adapt.
Makes sense. Yeah. What do you got, Chad?
Well, with that, you said it is case by case, and that you'll see college hockey get younger. We've been hearing all kinds of things left and right on social media and whatnot about what these kids are going to do. Do you think kids are going to? There's one rumor that kids are going to leave high school early to get extra time in juniors. There's all these kinds of rumors. Do you see that kind of thing happening, or do you think there's going to be some leveling out of this where this is all going to kind of make sense to everybody?
I I think some things that did not go into much consideration is high school hockey, like the prevalency, especially in the relevancy of Minnesota, Mass, probably the two high school hockey. I mean, you could probably include Wisconsin, a little bit of, maybe Michigan some, but they didn't really think about, they didn't really dive into junior hockey and the impact and what junior hockey does for these people, not only as players, but as people, physically, mentally, the maturity part. Do I think, I mean, if it depends if it stays status quo and graduation is one of the cues, I can see it affecting it deeply. If it's 19 being an indicator and without the graduation being part of the language, maybe a little bit less. And then maybe just at the same time, all of us, as we all know, like if a kid's not ready to come in and play and be maybe have the ability to jump in lineups and play minutes, they're going to leave anyways. So for us to have a player to come in as ready as possible, knowing there's still room to grow, some of these kids might have to get out there and explore some junior hockey. And you hope not, for the state of Minnesota and what high school hockey is and what it brings to communities and what it brings to the ecosystem of hockey, which I don't think really went into much of this verbiage and language. Everybody's going to have to adapt a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Juts, you got anything?
Yeah, so just switching up a little bit here. Talk about the guys we got, like from the portal, guys coming in. What you're looking forward to with this year's team.
Well, the portal, we don't want to be a portal team. We don't. At the same time, we want to be able to use a portal to, I think, really plug some holes and allow some time for some guys to really take off and get going. Like, you used the portal a year ago. Lemaire comes in. If Tristan maybe doesn't come in, maybe someone's playing ahead of their time and their timing, and they're frustrated, rattled, not scoring, doing whatever. So for us on the decor, we had to replace obviously some heavy minute 4 players there, between Ralphie and Murr and Soupy and Wheels. And Will Scahan is obviously a big, mobile, hard playing monster back there. That's I think at the same time, I had the success at BC, but opportunity to get over the boards. We had major support from Utah, which is a crazy part of our story. Is I think when you get an NHL club to back you the way they did with what they need to get out of their player at a young age, was crucial for us as a program and staff.
Awesome.
So Skate will come in and be a big part. Sammy Court is a familiar player to myself. Like we were, I guess, the years have passed, so I was trying to get him out of Brooks to come to Sioux City way back in the day, like ahead of time. Possibly trying to poach that out of there a long, long time ago, and it didn't work. The time he came in after I left, and but the familiarity was there. And actually, when I remember being in Fargo at a camp, and he had not committed to Arizona State, but that was kind of the rumor on the road that was the direction. And I said, like, I will drive to Winnipeg from Fargo. Give me the time to meet for dinner and say hello, and then I just kind of close that conversation. If you maybe get overpromised and underdelivered, you'd have a place to land, and that was the case right away at the end of this year, which was huge for us. Sammy will be a puck mover. I think he's got a rocket, a bomb of a shot. He's very competitive, good skater, personal space, like kind of got some bite. Both those players have some bite coming in, which is great. And then Lassie on the back end, I don't know. He's probably a cigarette machine like the old school. Like he's a big rig, man. He's got body wide. For me, he was our favorite goalie that we, he went in early as a grad student. So it really helped us in the indication. His agent, fortunately for me, is like the same agent that Akira Schmid has, that Jakob Dobish has. So I've had both those guys. That was a really good pusher for their, like, understand what was going to happen to the goalie, the situation, what we're going to play like in front of them. And Lass really wanted to come in and have a job, and a number one job to really go after and keep him, and not to take a second away from Raiden and what Legault is going to bring to us, because he's going to compete his backside off. He's a terrific goalie. It would have been a lot to ask him to come and run with it. So the timing of Last coming in was perfect. And then up front, Dane Gardner. You know, if you really look at guards is going to be a grad student here, and he's the age of most of our sophomores. He got to. I mean, he got to college fast. There again, like I'm a situation. We're beating Tri-City in the playoff my last year there. When I was in Sioux City, and guards is coming in there as a high school player, being jammed in there. You can see how talented he was, but man, it was a lot. His numbers at World speak for themselves. 4th round pick of Vancouver. Maybe hasn't just connected all the dots, but I'll give Van all the credit in the world. They have not given up on this kid. Like, he's going back to dev camp. They've got a lot of change in management and all their scenarios, but I think we had a great heart to heart about last chance. Like, this is your one opportunity come year. I can promise you opportunity. You got to run with it. And I know he's very excited about that situation. So those things on the portal side, Jack Christ is having a fantastic, another run at a Clark Cup, and his energy, his jam, he's going to be a fan favorite pretty quick. Like, he's got a relentless pursuit. Sammy Capello up front's a big 6'3" centerman. He's going to take some time, but I think people are going to love his throwback. Big body, hard on his stick, plays inside. He's really come a long ways as a centerman, as a big centerman, which is great. Cash Carter is an old soul. I think if you put Cash back here in the 90s, he'd be everybody's, because he's a competitive, determined, hard leader player. Definitely has his nose over the end of his blade, plays very hard on that side in that sense. I think it gives us a real advantage in some regard, just for the fact of what he brings day to day. He's just, when you meet him, you're going to find out that this kid's he's a throwback in a great way.
Yeah.
What other forward? Is there another forward coming in as a freshman?
No, Sam, no.
No. And then it's like Gus Thorpe on the back end, who's in Muskegon as well, going for a Clark Cup.
Yeah.
I've known Gus since diapers. I would be the first to say it, like, for real. Like, I probably had a quote about Gus. I thought he'd play in the National League or wear an orange suit. That's what I kind of thought about this kid, because, like, he was mean. His father might be the meanest human being I've ever been around in my life. So, a great man, but Gus is a very competitive guy. There's a raw side to him that I think everyone's going to be like, okay, what's he got going? But then I think there's going to be a pop side of him that people are going to be very enthralled with what's coming in, and what that means to our group. We talked about Legal, but I'm so excited about Raiden. Reminds me of Trace. So many attributes, same thing, a little bit smaller, but his athleticism, his compete, his ability to break structure, have great save selection in the process is really a good part of what he brings to the table. And I'm missing someone. Who am I missing?
Mason Kraft?
Am I?
Yeah. Mason Kraft.
Oh, yeah. He's not bad.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's
Heard of him.
Yeah, that guy. Heard of him. Crafty is going to benefit, in my opinion, from our returning group and the installation that I think we can provide for a young player with that much skill, that much vision. He can pass through a keyhole. His offensive instincts are so high. Obviously, there's a power play game to him. There's going to be a real push, and he knows I'm going to lean into him hard on becoming a better 5-on-5 player, and that's going to be part of what college hockey is. But there's also going to be something that not many other players come to the table with, and with his sense and really offensive feel to the game. He's going to be a young guy. He'll be a little bit Zeddy young a year ago type scenario. So it couldn't be more exciting, because I know he's trained his backside off. He's been done for a little while, so he's tried to get a head start on things. Some of these other guys, like, Capel, just ended their season. Kristen Thorpe are still going. Legal's still going. Those are exciting parts for us, because those guys are winners, and these guys have played in monumental, big moment hockey before they get here. Only beneficial.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't wait. That's going to be a fun group to watch come in.
It's funny. I saw last year
going back to the
somebody got really creative
for it.
last year with Crafty. I saw that they had the 19 jersey, but they put the tape Craft over the top of it, or they had
Yeah,
a
that
9
was
jersey and
awesome.
they put another one next to it. I was sending pictures to him and his family, and they're elated to be here, and you might have another sibling there that's pretty darn talented too. I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's gonna be
that's
my
what we-
next
Owen?
that's what we've seen.
I probably can't talk about him, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little young yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well,
I got reprimanded for that on another guy.
So, Coach, I wanted to talk a little Evan Murr. Obviously he had another great season. CCHA D-Man of the year. Come transfer portal time, he jumps up to the U. As a fan, obviously it's news we didn't want to see. And the default is to kind of maybe hate him or bash him for his decision. This past weekend we saw the grad pictures, obviously posing with you and the other guys. What can you kind of tell us about his decision from your point of view? And I mean, maybe how can fans kind of channel that, feeling slighted by players leaving into maybe a little bit better of a frame of mind, I guess.
I mean, it was sad to see him leave. I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
I love the kid like he's my own. There's all of that. I don't think it was easy for him, but everyone's got to understand it wasn't easy for him to leave. Sure, your agent plays a little part. You've won the Defenseman of the Year 2 years in a row. Your pro offers are probably American League looking offers. There's probably some inside that says, like, if you go do that there, will you get an NHL deal? You have to have opportunity there to be able to do those things.
Yep.
You have to have rope to skin your knee and get back and put back out there to do those things. I hope all those things come through and come true for him. I think in my mind, in the conversation, I'm like, well, I would bet my dollar that Hendricks is going there. I would already heard Smith was going there. Those for me are power play guys. They're going to cut into some major ice time, but that's here nor there. Honestly, at the end of the day, Evan Murr and his family, they're Minnesota State grads. The kid graduated here in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he gave our program, our community, was full-hearted, never interrupted, never misled for me. I think we do have a lot to salute what we got out of him. Am I happy? No. Do I want to lose a player? No. I think it stinks. But if they put their, it'd be one thing if it didn't go his way in whatever, and we didn't get out of him what we thought we would get out of him, that's a different story. We did. We got everything out of Mersey. Do I want him back every minute of the day? But the longer I wait on that, the less we're likely going to hit the target we need to hit. So, it sucks. I don't know. I mean, there's a Band-Aid effect, right? Like, it always sucks when you pull it off, and then you're healed, and that's where we're at. And I know no one's eyes were bigger than when I said we're playing Minnesota, and our guys had a big eyes, and that is not they're going to love Mersey to death. Don't get me wrong. We just internally have some rules about people who leave and play them again. They know what the rules are. Yeah. That's just how it goes. and so did he. So he understands that, and he understands the mission.
There we go.
I love it. I love that.
It's gonna be fun. What do you got, Chad?
I want to go back to the rules a little bit. I mean, you had touched on, the 5-on-5, and you touched on how maybe you didn't. But there's some adjusting there, but then you also like the shorter window. So, and I don't know if it's the access to information that fans have got over the last few years, or maybe just me paying more attention, but it sure seems like there have been a flurry of rule changes, maybe since COVID or within the last handful of years. And it just seems like it's nonstop. So I'm just curious, like, what grade would you give the rules that the NCAA has implemented as a whole over the last 5 years, 6 years?
It's probably been more rule. You're correct, though. You are like, there's more rule changes the last 3 years than there's probably been the previous 13 years. I think the part that we haven't got to in some regard is the unintended consequences of some of these rule changes. Like right now, okay, so the roster limitation, which again, most of these rules were not made for hockey. They were made for football or another category. I guess let's take football for example. On the salary of the roster cap, if you get whatever millions of dollars to use, and they shrink my roster, I have actually less players to use that more money on. So like you get the volume up some people. The unintended consequence for hockey, you got to designate student athletes. Well, so really no one, if you opted in, I don't know of anyone that played with 26 or less.
Mhm.
Do I think we all want 27? Yeah. We had a moment. I mean, and I would tell you last year, I can tell you what our record was. I can tell you how we played. I can tell you, I felt like I was in 1985 coaching going one way and come on back down, guys, because you're out of like, we were down to 5D at practice. Yet, Trace with limited reps because like he was playing. It doesn't take much of an injury bug to get in the way of some of those big pictures. So that's one. I just think, I guess to cover the unintended consequences where some things I think they thought they were helping or was a silo that one, all sports got to fit in that silo. That's kind of our fear about the 19-year-old rule. Like the 5-and-5 is that it's not a one size fits all. Like it's just not for every sport. I think the COVID probably had a little bit to do with how wonky things got and sideways. I think the idea that finances, man, it's a game of like you put NIL in, you put in revenue share, and you put in, those things fall into place, and pretty soon you're trying to find different ways to slice a cat. Like there will never be. So you guys should be proud of this. Never be a Pitlick scenario again because you can never ever transfer if you didn't go in the portal again. I don't care if the kid was so like that's my fault, but that's okay. It really worked for us. But so I think we're learning on the fly, which is unfortunately you don't like to build the plane in the air. I guess that's how they say it. But that's what we're doing in some of these cases. And I think the other part maybe some might be favorable. They really may be, but some are detrimental to our sport, but help another sport.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess on the back of that, Coach, quick question before I throw it to Juts. You mentioned you guys are opted in. I guess, can you kind of briefly explain what that means for you and your program specifically here in Mankato? And I guess the second part of this question would be, I'm sure you can't get into specifics too much, but are you guys kind of given like a budget from the school to spend on NIL and stuff like that? What are you able to kind of tell us about and willing to tell us about stuff like that?
Yeah, maybe a little bit blanket. When you opt in, you're allowed more than 18 scholarships, but you're also allowed a roster cap of 26. And then you're allowed to, we followed the letter of the law, designated student. We took freshmen that we felt wouldn't leave the program, and it gave us a 27th player out of the situation. Right now, we're at 26 coming into next year. I'm kind of saving a spot just in case. Like, I'm hoping that some Euro gets drafted and they want a spot to go to college in the middle of summer. We can
Okay. Yeah.
just accommodate those needs. The NIL part, since that when you opted in, you are also qualified for revenue share. And revenue sharing would be outside, like the school can direct pay players above and beyond their scholarship, up to the amount of 26 scholarships. So if you don't use 26, which we certainly don't, it's a way to give a player more than the value of one scholarship, but we can never go above 26 total. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And then the NIL part, we've been fortunate. Like we have a huge community that's strongly backing hockey. I think we hit more singles than home runs with like big NIL dollars in a great way. We have a collective headed up by Michelle Schoof and the board, and they're savages. They're savvy in the idea of why we're doing it and what is protecting and what is helping. But they're also, I'm just impressed with the support that's been given by the 507 towards that is very, very reflective, and we will use it for retention more than attraction. You look at the players that got paid big dollar, we're never going to get in that lane. We're just not. Which is, you go beat those teams. That's how it goes. You play them in one game at the end. That's what it amounts to.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to get past in your own league. Like that's something that can't happen.
Yep.
And I think there's just a balance. Like we spread it around. I think the animosity that can be driven by money is so high, so crazy. If not filtered and taken care of the right way, all of our guys have opportunities to make outside monies along the way, as does everybody else on campus who open doors. Our guys are probably just taking advantage of some of those parts.
And if it keeps bringing those awesome commercials that we get to see, I'm all for it. So
Yeah, there's I that whole commercial with the trophies and having you got to get a couple of those more. When you got them, you got to use them.
Exactly. Juts, what do you got?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been watching a lot of AHL, ECHL the last couple weeks. How much are you keeping up with your old guys, and how cool is it that we have just like pretty much every player that wanted to move on in hockey has been able to sign professionally from MSU?
It's neat. I think it's almost to a man when they come back. They're like, I forgot how good we had it here.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation. Trace was back, and Trace was back, and we talked about the coast, and then he'd got recalled to Henderson during the playoffs, and just the player, the professionalism, the what it takes. And that's not even the National League, that's the American League. And the American League is obviously it's the second best league in the world in so many ways.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be more proud. Soupy's there. I know he's in Toledo. He's playing less now in the playoffs, but he's on like high alert, and that's next man up. I think those experiences grow for these guys. I think they put a little bit of reality into what was here, what it meant to graduate from here, what it means to have a degree and to fall back on, where some guys play minor pro with no fallback. They're in a really good spot. I think to watch the other alum that have been through here, and now to watch, from our German Olympians to now Germans playing there, and Blues and guys that kept, and Mac is up for another contract. And I saw it today, Pavel just won a championship. And those are just, for us, I mean, that defines like why you want to come here and have those opportunities. And I'll tell you that people always like ask about championships. I don't care what league it is, they're hard to win, and embrace it, enjoy it, love it and live it. And those are really meaningful. So yeah, it's fun to keep up on those guys, former players of mine, different places. It's always it's awesome to see these young people make a difference, not only maybe in the game but out of the game as well.
Absolutely. Chad, you can go for it.
So looking back on the season, everybody gets to look at this season through a different lens. The coaches view it differently than the players. Players and coaches view it differently than the fans. Everybody watched the same season, but through different lenses. Did you ever get a moment to kind of step back from the coach's lens and maybe look at it through a fan's lens? I mean, you were in fourth place on the last day of the season and ended up winning the conference and carrying around a cardboard cutout of a trophy. I mean, that's just another chapter in this amazing story of crazy things that have happened in Mankato. Do you ever get to step back and like look at like, holy shit, this just happened?
That's a great question. I think you do. I also think it really affirms to you control what you can control. That's all you can get lost in. And we you look at we lose 11 times this year. We've got to grow to a point where you don't stub your toe 3 of those times.
Yeah.
I just was listening to Saban talk about their runs, how they didn't lose to unranked opponents like ever. And it was a lot to do with how they kept their standard all the way through, opponentless, and I can preach and say opponentless hockey, whatever we want to do, but you really got to live it. On a fan standpoint, did I want the 2 games at Wisco to be wins? Yeah. Did we walk out of? I would tell you this though. When we left Wisconsin, I was like, that will be maybe the best team we play all year, in my opinion, because that was they had a great balance. They, size, speed, enough returning players for Mike there. So then you're like, okay, if that's where we're at with that group, then where can we get with our group internally? I think when you saw us go through this skid, which at that point, I think there was some, I'm not saying any guys I'm talking to, but there's some other guys that were waving the white flag at end of like November, December time. They were like, all right, that was fun last year, but what are we going to do next year type thing? And to our guys' credit, we had a real push, a segment of our season called Good to Going for it. And that's when our guys we were good, but we hadn't gone for it yet. And we hadn't really even stubbed our toe because we hadn't gone for it yet. So I thought when we got healthy after Palm Springs and we got kind of pointing the right direction, I do think our conference schedule was a gauntlet there for a little while. We weren't playing some teams that maybe other teams had pointed on, and knowing maybe in the telescope at the end of the year, like some of those teams were going to be teams we were going to play. I probably kept more hope than some fans did.
Colin.
You all right there, Juts? Just checking.
Yeah, sorry. We have a big board meeting at Sticks, so they were just texting me.
I thought you were waving the white flag still from the middle of the season, but
oh no, I was never out. I was never
he
out
did.
on home ice. I was never out on home ice. I was just like sitting there. I'm like, there's just no way it's possible, and then it became possible.
Yeah, I mean,
got it. Okay.
It was a unique setting, but I do think when you just see it, and then on the coach side, it was. I have a great confidant of mine in hockey named Eric Hofberg, who I use Hoffer for my own mental sanity of things. We just had a good conversation today about it. Like I said, we coached hard this year. It was hard because of the ebb and flow of the season, and especially when you look at a year before when you had won the conference with however many games left, and you could already like take your foot off and start pointing guys and ice times. And we played meaningful hockey for darn near the last 2 months of the year. It probably zapped us in some regard at the end, but at the same time, it prepared us.
Yeah. I guess on the back of this kind of cues us up almost perfectly. Cause I mean, I don't think I ever, gave up hope like Juts did. But I'm a guy that may or may not have put Maverick Nation on DEFCON 3 after the tech sweep. I think the fan base was in full panic mode, to put it lightly, and we were worried about home ice, let alone repeating both cups. I mean, we heard you say in many interviews, and a lot of the guys we talked to in the later part of the season kind of echoed it as well. But what was it about getting swept at Tech that prompted you guys to pretty much go on a run to end the year?
I maybe how I think our response to it was it. We played really good hockey, and what did Coop say there in Game 7? Like they won the statistical part of the game, but the outcome the other team won. That's what it was. I mean, we were I can't promise our guys that we are going to win. I can't, but I can promise them if we get to the point of preparing to do things the right way, we will be in full swing to have the best crack at winning. That's what we did that weekend. To their credit of leadership, maturity, growth, belief. I thought their arm in arm manner about kind of a little bit over my dead body feel that that wasn't going to be the way it was going to be, which you credit the seniors. And then, but I would tell you by that point in the season, it already worked into the veins of the freshmen just as much as it had the older guys that returned. If you really want to look back, that we had 17 new bodies last year. We had 17 new bodies that had never been through any of that before, especially with me. and maybe the surrounding cast, the expectation. I thought it took a little bit of a compass to get going, and I'd give the guys the credit. The guys dug in, and I just thought their pushback and resiliency was pretty high.
It was incredible. One quick one before I throw it to Juts. We saw a couple of games this year where all hell breaks loose, early on in the game, maybe in the second period. I think for a lot of teams, you probably would have seen a goaltender change in most of those games. But obviously, you keep Tracy in, he battles back, and in a lot of those games, especially like the Bowling Green game, you come out on top and you're getting crucial points in pretty important parts of the year. Can you kind of take us through the thought process, maybe on the bench and as a coaching staff in those situations, as to why Tracy's staying in those situations?
Oh, I mean, selfishly, because I knew Trace said that'd be one side of it. There's just, I mean, I think there's goals that go in out of like, okay, went off the guy's shin pad. Like, what are we gonna do? There's goals that go in.
Yeah.
Man, are we not ready? Like, what was that? There's goals that go in because the group in front of a goalie just totally failed, and they let a Royal Road backdoor scenario happen. I think those are what you've got to decipher live speed as a coach. I have a huge theory about back-to-back chance goals. Like, I don't think you win games when you give up back-to-back chance goals, and I don't care if there's 8 minutes in between the chances.
Yeah.
Which usually for me in my most scenarios, and any goalie of mine in the past is listening to me like, you pulled me then. I didn't pull Trace because I kind of knew that he'd come around a little bit. And then to Eddie's credit, Ryan Edquist, our goalie coach, like, he had firm numbers about the time of game and Trace didn't give up goals, and it was crazy. The middle 2/3 of a hockey game, like, the kid didn't give up goals. Like, did not. It might have happened in the beginning. It might have got tagged at the end out of an empty net or 5-6 scenario. But there was a moment there where he didn't give up goals, and during those minutes, so he was good enough to let us get our things in order a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I think that's just confidence. That's confidence in a goalie, confidence in a team. You don't want to leave a goalie out to hang and lose confidence either. But I think you have to show confidence that they're not a perfect player. I mean, if they're a perfect player, they wouldn't be playing here.
That's right.
I mean, they wouldn't. They would have skipped this level or fast forwarded through the level. But and then goalies, just, you know the deal, man. You're dumb enough to stand there and take it too. But
well, you do it without pads sometimes,
I have
Coach.
no problem.
Yeah, we gotta have a talk about that.
No problem. I'll invite anybody. Yeah, I need a little distance. Like, you can't come down like some of our guys hold on to their slapper until about 2 sticks, maybe a stick length above the top of the circle, and they let it go, and then they're like, I'm making no. The deal was the blue line, not. So yeah, I do like talking.
Gotta have some reaction time.
But just to close it with Trace, like, I think the goal type scenario was probably as much or more to do with it than anything. And I'll tell you, there's not a room in the world that believed in their goalie more than our guys believed in Trace.
Yeah.
Those are big parts.
Absolutely. Chad, go for it.
Just wanted to give you an opportunity to maybe point out any events coming up over the spring or summer where fans could either engage with the team or support the team. Is there anything people should be watching for?
Yeah, we do our Dan Meyer Blue Line outing. That's in the middle of July. It's probably full in some regard. We do a alumni and friends golf outing August 21st at North Links. That would be a fun one. We're trying to do a night before that. I'm in the organizing parts of my life about trying to get alumni and public back together, get our current, the team that'll be in maybe a bourbon and cigar scenario where people could enjoy that type of language. It seems to be a wheelhouse for the guys on the screen right now. We might sell a fur coat or two on it. We'll see what happens, but
We'll see.
I think those are big ones. We've got our athletic department outing coming up, which is a fun one. But when our guys get back in town, we'll get right back in the community work in set our stages on that and get ready for fall because it'll be another new group with another high standard and expectation, and we want them to be heavily involved in the community for sure.
Absolutely.
I got
Sounds
Johnson-
exciting.
I got a follow up and then just another question. So, how does
for it.
Chattin Mavericks get into the Blue Line Club golf tournament? Because it is a hard ticket to get.
Just way to beat around the bush.
There ain't no beating around no bush. I'm going straight to the soul.
You gotta show up. You gotta show up under a .08, Juts. That's the first requirement.
Oh, we're out.
Yep. All right.
Maybe next year.
I'll start us at the golf club. Does that help? And then we'll work back. It's kind of above my pay grade. I think I kind of step away from that. I do.
Yeah.
I did hear you guys are sponsoring a hole this year, though. We really appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, Chad.
And then,
My pleasure.
yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know the inner workings.
No,
of that
I
part.
knew you wouldn't have an answer. I just wanted to put you on the spot. So my
White
question
flag
is,
revenge.
August 21st,
So-
though.
okay,
That would be, you guys would enjoy that one. You'd see a lot of familiar
Okay,
pros with a
sweet.
couple cups, probably out on the course as well.
All right.
Not only red
Oh.
silver ones, but silver ones too.
Love it.
so my question is, we saw a lot of things about the Canadian junior players able to come over last year, and it was, I felt like at the beginning of the season, it was kind of a bigger storyline than like during the season. I don't know if, like, I guess, what did you guys think of the whole first year with like CHL guys, as a coaching staff?
Except for getting mauled by half the league at Bowling Green.
Yeah,
but-
that's what I was gonna say. The only game was like Bowling Green's the other time I really was like, holy shit.
I think, yeah, I think it's a new pool of players. There's no question there. And there's some talented kids coming through. How long they stay will be, again, like back to the unintended consequences. Like, are these guys going to fulfill 4? They're going to get out of here in 2. More stuck around than I thought. I thought maybe some would bail at semester because of playtime or academics or whatever. And that really wasn't the scenario, which I was really kind of happy to see for Arcane. I would really stick some people in the opt-in part because you don't get a chance to replace players. I thought the parity in college hockey has never been higher. I don't know if the talent and skill level has ever been higher. And a lot of that's got to do with that influx. And you know, you look at, look at right now, especially we've been through a little phase there with Philly, like Martone, like how do you jump in and do that? Like bump a year, like
Yeah.
he's out there doing that. You're watching, Washies and playing right now. You're watching guys that a year ago were, that's how far hockey, for me, college hockey's come. The guys can jump in and impact at the highest level in the world. So I think the parity is unreal for it. I know they got after us a little bit about how come you didn't get up there and do that. I mean, part of me was a little bit wait and see. Let's see how it pans out. Let's see how it works out. Let's see what ramifications may or may not be there from it.
Yeah.
We had some of our recruits opt to go up there and play, and all you could do is cheerlead them and support them, what that new endeavor meant for them. And I hope, like in Crafty's case, you got a lot of touches, you got a lot of play time, you got a lot of opportunity. I have a feeling we have a couple future committed kids that will maybe take that route as well. And then it's just me, and maybe I'm selfish. Well, I'll stay true to what the USHL is. I think the hockey's hard. Like the inches are hard.
Yeah.
They're pretty preparatory for what's going to happen in college.
That makes sense. And Coach, you're so generous with your time, so we don't want to keep you too long. I just got a couple more for
you're
you.
good.
Only 2 father-son duos in college hockey this season, and as one of them, how'd you kind of navigate throughout the season, and what'd you kind of take away from that experience this season? Obviously, pretty unique. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
I would say on the father side, happy. I mean, I was happy that Bryce dug in and dove in and his day-to-day competitiveness and bite shows up, pushes some people to a different level. As a coach side, you're always like, okay, am I treating him different than them? And am I finding the sweet spot of both? And
Yeah.
I'm sure I was hard. I know I was harder, maybe. I may be catching people good. It's just how I coach, why I coach. I am. I take a major pride in catching players good. But damned if I wouldn't catch him bad. Like if two other guys could have done the same thing and I didn't say a word, and then he did it, I'm like, well, what's going on around here type thing. So I had to like a little bit watch myself because I definitely I wanted to be cognizant of what that meant to him in the group. You're always happy, I think, to see me. I wasn't doubting his maturity and his ability to adapt and do those things. It goes back to, I think I told you guys a year ago, like he asked me about where he'd be on the depth chart. I'm like, you'll be number 8. And he's like, well, what if I'm better than number 7? I'm like, you'll be number 8. And what if you're better than number 7? What if you're number 8? And so injuries probably afforded a little bit of the crack in the door. And then I thought he did a nice job after that in a lot of ways. So, right now it's fun to watch him in the gym at 7 a.m. when the rest of the guys are gone. He's in town working and just having his own life. But it's been cool. I mean, it's funny because you watch our parents respond to their kids after games, hugs, smiles, relatives, the whole deal. And then it took me till probably January to be like, you know what, dummy, like grow up and be proud of your kid too at the end of the game, like all the other parents are, win or lose or good play, bad play, next play type scenario. But it took me a little while to get better at that. And yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he's
That's awesome.
does his job. That's all I care about.
I guess my other one for you here too is, how important is like the aesthetic or the product of like kind of the branding of your program, Minnesota State Hockey, when it comes to recruiting. And what I mean by this is like you see the hype videos put together by the video crew, the photographers, you watch a game on TV and it's an NHL level production. The Mayo is the perfect size and it's, relatively up to date. It's a nice facility. Instagram, social media, all that. I mean, it all just looks professional. How important is that stuff when it comes to recruits and getting guys, on campus and committing to your program?
I think it's major. I think it's major for that scenario. I think it's major for marketing, branding, future dollar revenue source direction. I think our like, you go with the behind the scenes, like you go to the Greg Vandermoos of the world, that their production of a game is elite. If you would have told me like our CCHA final when like Ben and Pat were there doing it, but that's still all Greg's production. And frankly, it's probably better than watching regional production. There's that. I think the amount of time like in this Elizabeth there that did a lot of the Instagram and some of those things, they work hard. Those kids, they're learning their craft a little bit at the same time. And there's some trial and error. And there's some like, can we not pose that picture of Wheels in a red jersey, please? Like I know he's hurt. You don't need to tell the rest of the world he's hurt. So there's some growing always, don't get me wrong, but there's so many rewards for it because like these kids are going, they've got an opportunity to leave this as our players do, as our coaches would, or as they have a chance to better themselves by doing what they're doing. And I think they do a fabulous job there. I really like the addition of what we did with Maverick Made this year, which we continue.
That was awesome.
It's another. I think I would just, and I'm sure Hasty would feel the same. Like I think there was a lot of access when Mike was here. I definitely saw it the other side of the road for. I think we have to do these things. We have to find an edge that makes us different, that solves a problem of a question that's not being asked, but the answer is right in front of your face because of what that is. So yeah, it's impressive and it's something we got to continue to grow, and we're always up for new ideas on things. No question.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that Maverick Made was incredible. I want to say I wasn't one of the first viewers of every episode, but I think most nights I was. Chad, you got anything?
Yeah, I got one last one for you. We have had October. Well, now that we know it's October 9th and 10th, but we have had this Wisconsin series, them coming to Mankato, circled since we first heard about it. And I got to imagine, I feel like we need you, Coach, to kind of give us some guidelines, give fans some guidelines for how to behave, because if you don't, I feel like it's going to get out of control real quick.
That's my guideline then.
That's the mission.
You-
I mean,
Go for it, Doyle.
I've stayed in hotels where the fire alarm rang at 3 a.m. and the phone calls happened in the rooms. I've stayed in every one of those. I've been in the middle
so we're
of the
going
playoffs where
above and
like
beyond.
your best player's phone is ringing off the hook. I would never see you do that, but I'm saying like I think the celebration of what Maverick hockey is, the rivalry is. I mean, there's no such thing probably in a lot of ways, except for when had Mike not gone to Wisconsin. I don't know if there's a big rivalry. The WCHA definitely had its moments. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
you guys, Mike was an unreal man to this program, this community. So it can't be a Mankato versus Mike scenario. It should be like the W versus the Bullhead type scenario. And probably back to the rivalry, the WCHA. I hope we do get a chance to showcase what we are though, in the liveliness, in the intent. I do know it'll be a premium ticket. I know there's some things in we alluded to it earlier, like we've got to find creative ways, and when you bring in, I guess, opponents with profile that, as we've always experienced, and long before I got here, the prices included that. So I know that will be the case, but it can be a great fall day. Can you imagine having a straight out, flat out, like game on tailgate? You know where they got to enter. You know they got to enter from. You know where they're going to make that. Yeah, I think it's going
Are
to
we
be
taking notes?
an elite college atmosphere for everybody, not only just for the fans, for the players, but I think for the people that take in. There's a lot of people that come to Mankato, that'll be their first time because it's Wisco playing here type scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. Hopefully Doyle's taking notes. When
You
he's
can also
listening to
repeat
this.
that on November 28th.
Absolutely.
Make it even worse, in my opinion, but go from there.
100%.
Juts, you got anything?
Nope, that was perfect.
I guess I'll send us off with this last one, Coach. I mean, as a coaching staff, what do you kind of see as like the next steps in terms of the program's progress towards a national title? Is there something specific you guys are looking to accomplish next season? Your first year you get here, you get your feet settled. In the last 2 years, you've won everything there is to win in the CCHA. You made the national tournament. What is kind of that? What do you see the step needs to be to get to that Frozen Four and beyond?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think we don't lack work of change. We're not afraid of change. We're definitely always trying to evolve. Like I think that part, like we're doing some things for our players individually. I want to get out of the whole stub your toe business. That is for me like objective number one.
Yeah.
Like we've got to be better than that. Even a situation. Don't get me wrong. There's two teams out there, and everybody's getting better, but you got to be best that night. I think there's that. I think there's, we are always evolving internally for development, for how we approach individuals. It's a new cast of characters with character that are coming, and we've got to be able to serve them in a light. And you want to be able to play best hockey at the right time of year. And I think there is a secret to that, which I like what we've been doing on that side. But we would like to not be in that whole like 2.5 month of meaningful track meet hockey that leaves maybe an ounce of gas in the tank at the end too.
Right.
And then, for me selfishly, like winning game 1 of an NCAA tournament, I think that totally changes the. I think there's a way, and then we haven't cracked that code, unfortunately. And that for me, I think when you win 1, you got a chance to win 4 quick.
Yeah.
But you got to get obviously through that first hurdle. So we're gonna work, man. We're gonna find ways to involve others and learn from others. At the same time, the new guys coming in are excited to be Mavericks, and they're jacked about what this community is going to mean to them and what they're going to mean to it.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, Coach, you got anything else for us before we let you go?
No, we should all get on the golf course, so that'd be a fun just getaway excuse.
That would be a lot of fun. I'm pretty terrible, but
we'll do the adult camp. That'll come up again. I know that was a hit last year. We're going to do that if you're back to it.
Sweet.
Helmet fits. We're in.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Cam, I might play goal. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not going to wear pads, though. You guys are crazy, all those pads.
Yeah, we know. We've talked.
You got a blocker to glove. What else do you need, man?
Exactly. As long as you got enough time to react, you can stop anything, right?
It helps. That's for sure. The backswing scares me more than the actual shot.
That's right. Awesome. Well, Coach, we thank you so much for your time, and like you said, we'll see you around here.
Yeah, no, your support's tremendous. Thank you guys for that. We appreciate it.
All right, man. Just a thank you to Coach for coming on, chatting with us for over an hour, giving it to Juts, giving it to all of us a little bit in one way or another. We're beyond lucky to have such a cool guy as Coach here. So, got a lot of, and a couple of questions I wasn't exactly excited about asking, with the decommit and Murr leaving and stuff like that, but I thought we got some really good insight on both those situations, and this insane, Chad, your question about more rules have changed in the past 2 years and last 10 or whatever, it's nuts right now. So just he's a busy guy, and for him to take some time out of his week on a Wednesday to sit down with us, stick taps. So Chad, any takeaways from that one before we wrap up episode 60 here?
No, he's an absolute beauty. The more I get to know him, the more I appreciate this guy and everything he's doing, and where he plans on taking this program. I'm all in. I love this guy.
Yep, same here. What do you have to say, Juts?
Besides me zoning out while he was making fun of me, I think it was pretty.
By the way, when he was talking about maybe people jumping ship mid-season, I would just like to say, and not to toot my own horn, but I will challenge anybody to find a podcast clip, a tweet, anything I've said that suggested that I was out on this team last season.
Yeah,
just laying out that gauntlet for you, fellas.
Couldn't find one of those about me either.
I was a big mathematical guy. I said I ain't giving up till it's mathematically out. In the back of my head, was this
based
will
on
take a miracle.
pure vibes. I did not where we were still in there. I was like, this team has to literally play playoff hockey from Christmas on. I was like, just not gonna happen. I was like, just from being a Minnesota sports fan and then a Capitals sports fan until 2018 when we won the cup. Just getting my hopes up to the point, every time I get my hopes up, we got crushed. And the one year I was like, F this, F everything. The Capitals won the Stanley Cup. So I kind of found the less I care, the better we do. So you're welcome, everybody.
Right.
That explains so much. The less you care, the better things turn out.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah. Your life just changed. Took you 42 years. I don't know how old you are. Oh,
you nailed it.
You're 41.
What?
No, you just turned 42.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks now for getting that on the show.
Now I can't make the 6, 7, 41 jokes anymore. Okay. I was a big egg.
All right. You guys good? Episode 60, wrap it up. What do you say?
Great.
Nailed it.
Let's do it. Well, again, thanks to Coach for coming on. Thank you to all our sponsors that we don't have anymore. Hopefully someone else wants to sign up here over the summer. So reach out if that's you. I guess with that, roll Mavs. We'll see everyone on the next one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Chattin Mavericks podcast. Please be sure to leave a review, subscribe, and share. Roll Mavs.